I just wanted to do a quick video on something that I came across. So the other day, the lawyer had contacted me saying that there's a long shot in appealing the Court of Appeal ruling not granting me leave. So I started going through some materials, and I came across something that the second lawyer had stated, which will be in the second slide. So I'm going to begin with this first slide, and then I'll make my point. So this first slide is the former officer being cross-examined. Question: you don't understand your powers of arrest under this section 4952 for the purpose of identification? The prosecutor: sir, I'm objecting to these kinds of questions about which sections of the criminal code the officer's familiar with, unless there's some relevance that I overlooked. The court. Second lawyer. Second lawyer speaks. Well, it's completely relevant, sir. The court. Well. Second lawyer. It's completely relevant. And it's a fair question to an officer to find out what he understands the powers of arrest to be. The court: I don't think it's a fair question with respect to examine the officer about the content of the section. Now, these were some arguments in the second screenshot by the second lawyer. Now, me criticizing how the police did that is not necessarily going to win the case for Mr. Meriden, but it's a way in which you can look at how they approached the situation and how Mr. Meriden was to perceive it. Because if Mr. Meriden didn't understand the situation in such a way, and they didn't tell him he was under arrest for the purpose of identification, then I don't really think that Section 10A argument is anything other than plausible. I mean, it's certainly not like they arrested him and held him for 10 hours and didn't tell him what he was under arrest for. I get that. But they knew that they were dealing with a bylaw ticket, that they knew what the Traffic Safety Act allowed them to do or not to do. So that they should have been able to advise him that he was going to be under arrest for the purpose of identification, because the way this unfolded, he just grabbed him. Now, this third slide is my being cross-examined the first time by the Crown Prosecutor. Answer: on the cell phone, yes. The cell phone automatically, it's tuned in to, I don't know what it's called, the auto time setting computer. Cell phones all have it. Question: sir, is it true you filed a lawsuit against the City of Calgary with respect to this incident? Answer: yes. How much money are you asking for in the lawsuit? Answer: I think the lawsuit is set at X at this time. The prosecutor: okay, thank you. These are all my questions. The court: thank you, prosecutor, and redirect if you wish, second lawyer. We see in the first slide how the prosecutor went to guard the officer and his knowledge on something that is a big part of his job. And the lawyer at the time was trying to explain that it's very relevant. And the court actually supported the prosecutor's position with regards to that. The second slide is very clear, and this is what I uncovered. And if anyone has any doubt why my guilt is being maintained at all costs, it's because when you go after the police, it's not going to win you any cases, whether they're right or wrong. And the final slide that I showed is what this is all about. They are trying to either build a defense for the civil lawsuit or mitigate their damages. And this is why making of a criminal.